Hello everybody, welcome back to XBLG and more importantly welcome to Dirt Rally. Now before we get started I would like to say that Dirt Rally is the best thing to come from the Dirt name. If you're torn between whether to buy it or not, I'm hoping that today's video will change your mind because the game is absolutely wonderful. So over the past few years of gaming I found myself spending a lot of time in cars, be it in Grand Theft Auto 5, Forza 5, The Crew, Need for Speed, Project Cars, the list goes on, and nothing has really quenched my thirst for a decent racing game. They each all have their own strong points and differences, but all lacking something and I can never pinpoint quite what it is. After watching the trailer before release, I'll be honest, I was expecting another Dirt 3 with updated graphics, more cars, tracks and modes, etc. But that seriously wasn't the case. Upon starting the game you're greeted with the main menu. The first thing I noticed though wasn't the menu options themselves, but the worryingly low res gameplay footage in the back. The dirt textures were blocky and the gravel kicked up was popping in and out, and the general frame rate was low, however it was in slow motion. But I was still excited to get started. My options were career, leagues, custom events, profile, options and tutorials. But who needs tutorials for a racing game, right? Just accelerate and steer. So naturally career was my first choice, and another menu with types of modes that I can race in. Championships, online, PvP and custom games. Also the options for team management and garage. Eager to race, I selected championships in yet another menu. This time the championship modes, traditional rally, hill climb and rallycross. I was so happy to see that Dirt Rally had stepped away from the extreme sports field with stunt and demolition derby modes and stuck to its roots with traditional rally types. Rally it was, and I was surprised that I was prompted to buy a car. A choice of 3 amazing rally pedigrees, all from the 1960s era, as this was the first vehicle class you could choose to race with. The Mini Cooper S, the Lancia Fulvia HF and the Renault Alpine A110. I decided to go for the faster and more expensive Renault, however it was the only car of the 3 that was a rear wheel drive, the other 2 being a 4-wheel drive. But I considered myself a bit of a veteran of racing games and thought I could handle it. Loading into the game and it took a little longer than expected, nothing too painful. On the starting line and the game looks utterly fantastic. The cars, the dirt, the trees, even the pedestrians all looked amazing. The thing that made me smile though was the audio. The sound of the car hitting high res is easily the best sound in a racing game I've ever heard.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right 4 half long, into left 5, 60 crest.
Setting off and straight away you can feel the sheer power and weight in the car. The realism was intense and immersive. After a few corners I got the grips in how my car works, paying close attention to the pace notes and the road characteristics caught up with my co-driver. But unlike Dirt 3 there is no minimap. If you're not giving the game your full attention and listening to what lies ahead, you will crash. If your car gets stuck and you're looking at around a 15-second penalty to get your car back on the track, that'll go to your overall time, which will essentially mean you can kiss first place goodbye. Or if you end up crashing too hard and totaling your vehicle, you'll receive a DNF and the race is completely over. When it comes to crashing in Dirt Rally, it's so unforgiving. But as a bit of a rally fan, I understood the co-driver's call-outs and had no trouble knowing what was up against in terms of road layout. But for people new to rally, I can understand how this might be difficult. Now I know why there's a tutorial section in the main menu. After competing in my first few rallies, the contrast of the racing in the dirt to sliding around in the snow is monumental. Never before have I experienced such a drastic change in gameplay just because of the environment. On dirt stages I found my finger glued to the right trigger, using my e-brake to grind around corners and kissing trees with my front bumper on a tight hairpin. But on the snowy stages I hardly ever had the accelerator all the way down. I never used my e-brake. I was paying attention to lumps of snow in the road, wondering how it would affect my traction and whether or not to avoid it. You need to program your brain to have a different preset of thoughts for every race. And it's not just dirt and snow, asphalt stages, gravel stages, stages with a lot of jumps and a mixture of them all. And once you think you have it down, you do the same stages again in a different car, and you need to start thinking a whole new way, and it's absolutely wonderful. On completion of a stage, if you manage to hurtle into a 3-foot wall at 75 miles per hour, which is more times than not, then you will be told to repair your vehicle. You can choose to repair the individual parts yourself depending on what needs fixing, or you can get a crew recommendation who will choose the parts for you and carry out the repairs. The quality of the repair all comes down to the quality of your engineers. If your engineers are lacking in a certain department, you can hire new crew members with better stats from the team management option. All of course at the cost of some hard-earned credits. After being alone on the rally stages, I decided to pit myself up against some more opponents and try some rallycross. For people who don't know what it is, it's essentially a short circuit race composed of 4 cars with a mix of dirt and asphalt. There's an alternative longer route that each driver needs to take at least once in a race. This is called a joker lap. Failing to do so will result in a penalty. I found this mode to be super intense. Once again, Dirt Rally shows how unforgiving it is with its awesome AI. These guys will block and ram you off the track to keep pole position. For a while I struggled because of just how different it is compared to traditional rally. But after a few attempts, I knew the track and figured out how to wiggle past AI. This mode would be great for friends playing online and split screen and offer some awesome head-to-head racing. Eager to try out the last mode of Dirt Rally, I jumped into Hill Climb event, and let me tell you that nothing could prepare me for the sheer speed that these cars are capable of. Expecting just like a rally on a steep hill, I found myself in an Audi Sports Quattro, which I love, racing on the infamous Pikes Peak track. Unlike traditional rally, you get a rolling start, meaning that you're already driving when the race begins. And when I mean driving, I mean holding on for dear life as you exceed over 150 miles per hour. Your reaction times need to be on point, or you find yourself on your roof, in a tree, flipping and spinning uncontrollably, and if the game didn't reset you before you hit them, killing a lot of onlookers. Hill climb is for the people who love speed and love a challenge, but I highly recommend mastering the art of traditional rally first. So wrapping up for Dirt Rally now, and it's clear that I have a new #1 favourite racing game. The game runs at native 1080 as well with 60 FPS. It looks gorgeous. There are a few features I would have liked to have seen though. Maybe some sort of paint shop to give yourself some custom liveries, and some more cars which no doubt will probably be introduced as DLC. The option to view a car in some sort of garage location similar to Forza's would have been nice as well. But in terms of sheer gameplay and a racing experience, Dirt Rally is absolutely wonderful. Obviously, as a racing simulator, this game would be improved tenfold by a steering wheel, pedals and a shifter. But unfortunately we don't have one of those for the Xbox One over at XBOG, so if anyone from Logitech are watching and want to hook us up for a review, then wink wink nudge nudge, you know. But yeah, that'll be it from me today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe and follow us on all the social medias. Of course, thank you to Xbox for the review copy, and I'll see you all next time.